carriages continue to make their way up the straight course. The national anthem, of course, will be played very, very shortly before they enter the parade ring here and get acknowledged by the huge crowd who are waiting to see His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen. And a round of applause here in the paddock as the anthem concludes and they make their way off the track, and within a moment or two's time they will be just going under the archway of the huge grandstand. A fantastic building that is. When it was redeveloped, Jim, it's made such a difference to the track. The money they spent here, it really is a world-class sporting stadium now.
It is, and when it was reopened, it came in for a lot of criticism, and to be fair, they did have to make some instant tweaks, but as you say now, it holds a huge number of people, and it does look spectacular.
Jim, you've got an interesting stat, because we're very used to being able to pick out our selections in the race by the colours that they're wearing, but that wasn't always the case.
No, I mean, they started racing here in 1711 in one shape or form, but it wasn't until 1783 that Ascot actually said, come on, jockeys, you've got to wear some colours, because up until then, you could ride in a race and wear what you want, but colours came in officially here in 1783.
Imagine it's hard enough sometimes trying to spot your selection with the colours, let alone without, particularly in some of these big handicaps that we're going to enjoy this afternoon. The procession makes its way into the paddock, and I would imagine there's going to be a round of applause in a second when they make their way under this archway and the crowd see the royal procession for the first time today. But it's great to see some of the people in the carriage here, Jim. I mean, the likes of Zara Phillips, who's such an equestrian herself.
Yes, it's interesting also, isn't it, that, I mean, she's so close to an important member of the royal family, but she's titled Mrs. Zara Phillips. Great cheer for the King and Queen as the first carriage enters the paddock.
Yeah, and there are plenty of telephones out. The security in the middle of the paddock, looking very dapper, actually. They don't miss a trick. They've been scanning the crowd. And the Windsor Greys looking fantastic. Once again, all absolutely immaculate, Jim.
They do, and in the second carriage, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, and they celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary yesterday.
Oh, congratulations to them. And the fourth carriage comes in. Zara's giving Jim a wave. Looks wonderful. That's stunning, stunning colour. Mike Tindall in there as well, enjoying the day. Great to see them enjoying the sport, isn't it? And the Cleveland Bays following by. And they'll make their way round to the front of the weighing room and then head up to the Royal Box, where they'll have a jolly afternoon, hopefully, and maybe celebrate a winner. Speaking of which, Jim, can you see their horse winning a little bit later on?
Well, he's a progressive horse. It's obviously a very competitive handicap, but I mean, he's with one of the shrewdest trainers and most successful trainers in the business, so it's perfectly possible.
A handicap debut. Let's hope that he's well treated. And there you go. The carriage just about to stop in front of the. They just go by the weighing room, actually, past the winner's enclosure there on the right. Some brilliant aerial shots you can see. And then they'll be helped down the awkward descent from those carriages. They may be beautiful, but I don't imagine they're hugely practical. Jamie still hasn't managed to work out how fast they were going up the straight track.